Hey everybody, it is Tuesday night, and that means it is time for me to get to work here on Tuesday Night Cocktail Club. Tonight's cocktail recipe is for a Middle Eastern Margarita. This is a drink that has the normal tanginess of a margarita from the limes. It also has the earthiness from the tequila, but it's got some added smoothness and creaminess from an orgeat made with tahini. Normally orgeat is made with almonds, like we did last week. Anyways, it's a great drink. It's really inspired by a restaurant here in DC, Maydān, but it's also a trip through Beirut and Tel Aviv. And so it's a tour de force margarita. And I've got a pro tip on how to manage the sweetness in your cocktails when you're using orange liqueur. So we're gonna do that here in a minute, and stay tuned.
Tune in every Tuesday for fresh recipes and tips for the home bar. Remember, this is the exclusive cocktail club with no paywall, no dues.
Okay, so before we do our build, let me just note the cocktail does call for tahini syrup, which is something I make at home. It's an orgeat made with tahini, not with almonds. With any of these orgeat, you always want the outcome, this resulting syrup, to be as thick as, say, gravy, viscous gravy, and not so flowable that it pours like water. But you also don't want it to be paste too, so you always got to be prepared. I have a recipe in the description, but the recipe will vary depending on what brand tahini you use and how dry it is. I find the more you use it, the less oily it is, so it gets more viscous as you get to the bottom of your jar. Anyways, when you make it, you just want to make sure you get the right consistency like I described. You can always add a little more water. You can always add a little more tahini. I always just make it by pouring all the ingredients in a jar like this and, shaking the hell out of it. And so that's how I make my tahini orgeat. Oh, and let me not forget my pro tip here, which is I really felt like I initially had some trouble balancing the cocktail with the orange Curaçao. It just didn't have enough sweetness to it. And I really find that in the category of triple sec and orange Curaçao, there's a great variety of sweetness. And so I'm just saying, when you get a recipe and it calls for triple sec or Curaçao, or it calls for a specific, you just got to be really careful about balancing it out. The triple sec, like the Kuiper, is very sweet. This is a little milder. Combier, which is another great triple sec, falls somewhere in between. Just be prepared, especially with the orange Curaçao triple sec category. Be more tuned to the idea that you got to taste it and adjust your recipe based on how it all tastes when you're making it and to your palate. So that's my pro tip. Here, let's do the build. I've got 2 ounces of Reposado Tequila. I use Reposado, it's more earthy. I use this Espolon, but anyone will do. I like the earthiness with the creaminess. It's really a great combo. And then it's got orange Curaçao. The recipe, of course, is in the description. And then it's got lime juice. And of course, our 1 ounce of our orgeat. And then the secret ingredient is this pomegranate molasses, which really gives it a tang and some extra sweetness. It's just a 1/4 ounce of that. The pomegranate molasses really can overpower the drink, so just be cautious with that. And then it's got some ice. I got my ice in here. And then you shake it up. And you pour it right into your coupe. And it has that color of halva, which of course is a sesame dessert in the Middle East. It's sweet. I think that's where the whole thing is headed. And then I've got a lime ring here for it. And so there you have the drink. Boy, that's really a great cocktail. I love the tanginess of it. I think the molasses, the pomegranate molasses really makes it a little more tangy. But then you got the creaminess of the tahini, which is also really delicious. And the whole thing comes together as a creamy, sweet tang. I highly recommend it. But I always say, you know, don't take my word for it. I've got my outside expert here, Lucy, who's going to give us her take on the whole thing. What do you think, Lucy?
Very good.
Is it balanced?
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It's very creamy, but it has a nice sort of tart. What's the tart?
The tart is lime, but it also has pomegranate molasses.
It's an excellent combination.
What else? Those pomegranate molasses and the tahini. Do you think that goes well in other cocktails? And do you think it would go in anything else?
Yeah.
Like a rum cocktail, maybe?
Yeah, maybe a rum cocktail or just something sort of kind of floral,
Okay.
you know,
Would you
pistachio.
Would you order it in a bar?
I totally would pay money for this.
Okay. You did pay money for it.
Technically, yes, I did.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so there you have it. It's a great drink. It's really delicious. The Tahini Orgeat is so unique and really is a great ingredient, as is the pomegranate molasses. It all comes together in that sweet creaminess and the earthiness at the finish from the tequila. I highly recommend this drink. I always say it, but let's try to use these cocktails as a way to everybody to come together with friends and family, enjoy these drinks. Please like and subscribe on the channel. And then for next week, I was really thinking about doing a lemon cucumber drink inspired by some of the chatter on the Reddit cocktail group. But suddenly I find myself drawn to lime, not to the lemon. So I don't know. I'm thinking that way. Stay tuned for next week. I got another great drink for you. Please, again, like and subscribe, and thank you for tuning in.